First good question, straight away I throw you.
It's a completely two different terms, interface and integration, right? The module which we have learned, which we are still learning, it is FICO, right? Finance and controlling, financial accounting and management accounting. This is for external reporting, this is for internal reporting, right? And FICO is a functional module. What are the other functional modules?
Sales and distribution, material
Yes.
planning,
CI is
HR,
functional.
purchase planning,
Yeah.
HR.
HR, production planning, sales and distribution, material management, warehouse management, right? These are all functional modules. And the technical modules we have, ABAP, Basis, BI you can call it, right? And there are certain extensions available. Along with SD, there is a module called CRM, Customer Relationship Management, right? Also with SRM, Supplier Relationship Management, right? These are the modules we have. So, how the integration work and how the interfaces work, that is what we are going to talk about today, right? So, let's start an interface first. So, why we need an interface? Why can we not do everything within SAP? Why we need an interface with any other software? What is the root cause?
Because there is limitations that SAP can do.
So, yeah, kind of. But what is the right answer? I mean, see, what we are doing, we are using a system. System is the companies are using not because they are fancy to run on SAP, right? Because all the system are business process oriented, right? And sometimes your business process crosses the boundary of a SAP, right? Your website cannot be on SAP, your mobile app cannot be on SAP, right? So those things, the end-to-end business process are working on multiple systems, and the system is tightly integrated, right? So that's the reason why we need interfaces, right? Just imagine, must have given you an example of a superstore, Tesco, Asda, Sainsbury,
Yeah.
right? They can sell products online, right, with their mobile application. Also on their stores they can sell it. So they have three different points where they can make a sale, right? And all those three systems are different. Mobile application must have been developed in some Android or iOS platform, right? Are you with me?
Yeah.
And the website might be developed in PHP or .NET, right? And their store system may have been designed on Visual Basic or any other software, through which data is flowing into SAP, right? So the end-to-end business process falls under many multiple different systems, right? So whenever it comes to any solution or any project or any enhancement, I always emphasize on three things: process, accounting, and config. If you remember this, you need to think like this in this sequence only. What is the process? First of all, how it works end to end, right? Second is what would be the accounting implication. Third is how do you configure into the system, right? So when it comes to interface, there are two things on interface: real time and non-real time. Real time means instantaneous, right? If something changes on other system, it should have effect on SAP straight away, right? That is called real time interface, right? And non-real time is it has got a time gap between one system is changing and it is having an effect on SAP. And for both these kind of interfaces, there are different mechanisms, right? So let's talk about real time. I'll give you two examples. Right? Let's think about Tesco. Right? Tesco has got mobile app, website, and their store software. They all are in different platforms. This is iOS or Android. Website is on PHP or .NET. Store software may be developed in Visual Studio. And this is your SAP. Right? SAP has got a module called PI. I don't know what it abbreviates to, but there is a module called PI which acts as a middleware system. Right? So that this is the middleware. So there are many middleware products you should be aware of, right? So Microsoft has got bStock. Microsoft product is bStock. SAP's own product is PI, and IBM has got middleware. So what is middleware? It acts as a translator, kind of. Right? Imagine right now we have 1, 2, 3 systems. There can be, for payment we are using something else to receive payment. Likewise, you have 9 different systems. Right? So rather than these systems need to talk with each other, rather than having one-to-one relationship, like the system 1 needs to talk with system 2 or system 3 or system 4, right? Rather than having one-to-one relationship with different system, we relate them to middleware. Once the data in middleware, it can be accessed through all different systems, right? So that is the whole idea. So if the data is flowing here from each system, right?
So
The other system can invoke this data, right? Rather than having one-to-one relationship, right? So middleware, it's a kind of a translator in between, right? Which can receive the data, send the data to different systems, right? So it's like it controls the communication between multiple systems, right? So this is the middleware I'm talking about, right? Now, for real-time integration, interface, not integration, there are mechanisms which is being used in SAP, and Ababa is the best person who knows about it. One is BAPI, Business API, Business Application Programming Interface. BAPI.
What is this used for? Sorry.
This is used for a real-time interface. BAPI is a mechanism.
sorry, business.
Business Application Programming Interface. API is a very common term. If you ask any programmer, they know API. What is API?
What is
But in
API?
Yeah, I know it. I used it, but I don't know the meaning.
Application Programming
Yeah.
Interface.
Business application.
BAPI.
Maps.
Papi.
Something right.
Right? And the other one is
Business application programming
interface.
interface.
The other one is IDOC. there are two kinds of IDOCs, ELE and EDI. Intermediate document. IDOC stands for intermediate document.
Intermediate
Document.
document.
ELE, EDI.
EDI and ALE. There are two kinds of IDOCs. And IDOCs can be inbound and outbound. You can write this down as well, inbound and outbound.
What is inbound and outbound by the way?
Inbound means it's coming in, outbound is going out from SAP.
Data flow.
Data flow. Inbound and outbound. I'll give you an example.
They are a part of
In that
real
case,
time.
everyone's supposed to be in.
These are a part of real time.
Yeah, real time. Both of them.
In that case, ABAP and other program is also be inbound and outbound because SAP also relate to give back information as well. We're not taking all the information. Also.
Yeah. True.
So all of the other program also have an inbound and outbound.
Yes. Inbound and outbound, both IDOCs.
No.
See,
You mean this one? You mean this one?
No, I'm
The middleware.
yeah, not middleware. Of course, middleware, but that I am talking about BAPI. You know that what is it? Business interface programming. This is supposed to be inbound and outbound as well, and same
BAPI I'll
as
give, yeah.
ABAP
True.
as well because in any case.
No, ABAP is a broader term.
Okay.
BAPI, IDOC, everything falls under ABAP.
ABAP.
So
Okay.
two different mechanisms
Okay, fine.
to communicate with external system, right?
Fine.
So from here, when middleware sends data to SAP, either you need BAPI or IDOC.
Okay. Makes sense.
This is real-time interface I'm talking about.
So the company will be having either IP or either IDOC, right?
IDOC. It's a two different mechanisms, and the way it functions, I will give you an example about BAPI.
So the middlewares mentioned here or so far, all are one of the SAP middlewares or the two?
No, just PI is SAP's
that
product.
is SAP, right?
Yeah. It depends upon platform. See, when you have an IT, some companies they prefer we should have use everything from Microsoft. So they have B-stock, right? And then some people believe, oh, let's use IBM product because IBM products are really popular on banking sector.
But the thing is, like, if they have missed out, that can also link with SAP.
Yeah.
That can.
Yeah. Either of any of these three,
These
you can use
Any
it,
of this.
right? You can either use PI, you can either use B-stock, or you can either use IBM middleware.
Middleware. Fine.
Right? So it is acting like a broker, right, in between system, right? So do you understand why we need this middleware? Now I will draw this thing because it was hard to draw earlier. See, just imagine you have got 5 different systems. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 systems. Now this system needs to send and receive data to each other. So just imagine how many interfaces I need from point 1. This from point 2. Point 3, right? Can you imagine what I'm trying to tell you? Instead, what we are doing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There is a middleware. Everyone will send data here and receive data from there. You got the point?
Yes.
Just imagine the task for each system. You have to write 5 different programs to talk with other 5 systems.
Yeah,
Right?
understandable.
And every system is using different programming language. Instead, you are using middleware. Right? So this is the reason why we use middleware.
Yeah.
And what is BAPI? In BAPI, eventually you have functional module. Have you heard this term, functional module? Function module, not functional module. function, or let's call it functions. What is functions? Right? You want to develop a program. I'm giving you an example. Enter number 1, then there is a box. Enter number 2, then there is a box. And then on the last one, what you are saying? No, not total. What do you want to do? What do you want to do? So here you are saying 1 for addition, 2 for subtraction, 3 for multiplication, and 4 for division. Right? So based on the condition which we give here, if I enter 1, if I enter 10 and 5, then it will do addition. Right? If I select 2 here, then it will do 10 minus 5 is equals to 5. If I do 3, then 10 multiplied by 5, 50.
Wow.
Right? So this is the program which we have written in the background. Based on the selection here, it needs to do relevant thing. Right? But what if we need this program again and again in so many different ways, in different areas, right? We don't have to program this every now and then, right? What we will create instead, we will create a functional module. Right? In functional module, what it can do, an external system also can invoke this functional module. Just imagine there is a third party system, they can pass on the customer number and the date, and it can pull the open item data into another system. Just imagine FBL1N. There is a third party system which wants to know how many items are open in our system for a particular customer. So what they will do, there will be a functional module in which they can pass customer number and the date or maybe few other parameters, and then it is like FBL5 and then putting those parameters and clicking on execute button. So that functional module will send that output to the external system. Right? So this is what BAPI can do. Right? An external system can invoke our data. I'll give you our example. We have a student portal. And in student portal, it is a non-SAP system. Right? In student portal, student can log in and they can see how much they were meant to pay, their fees, how much they have paid, and how much is outstanding. So this student portal is invoking 3 different systems. The total fees, you can get it from a system called SITS, which is a student management system. Right? And the fees paid, they can get from SAP, whatever fees they have paid. Right? So what they do, they pass on a student number to BAPI, and BAPI pulls all the payment data from SAP system and send it to this student portal. Right? So this is, and it's real time. It happens instantaneously. Right? So this is BAPI. IDOC is a mechanism which sends all the data. It has got everything in it. Right? So IDOC can be inbound and outbound for each and everything. There is a IDOC. Like for customer, the IDOC type is called DevMask. Right? We call it Badmash, DevMask. This is an IDOC. This is for customer master data. For accounting data, there is ACC document. So for each and every, it is like a document type, right? For each and everything, for customer master transactional data, vendor master transactional data, there is a specific IDOC which has been given by SAP, right? There is an inbound is 1 to 50, and from 50 to 99 it's outbound. Right? I have a document which is very basic, which I will share it with you, right? Just to give you an idea of what is IDOC. Right? The example I can give you about IDOC in our system, we use a system called WPM. all the educational sector, all the educational sector are using WPM. WPM and all the councils are using Civica. We have just recently decommissioned Civica, but we used to use both WPM and Civica. What it does, these systems are capable enough to take payment on your behalf. Right? This system, through WPM, you can get a web screen within your website through which student can make payment for their fees. Also, they can agree that okay, if they have to pay like £20,000 fee, they can pay in 2 installments, and they can give their card details, right? Which WPM can take that card detail, and on the relevant days, on the maturity date, the system will automatically pull up the payment from the system. It's a kind of direct debit system, right? So there are third-party systems which are available. Why people choose to use third party? Because of PCI DSS compliance. Payment card industry data security system,
My God.
right? PCI DSS, payment card industry data security system, PCI DSS. So there are compliance. What are those compliance? You are not supposed to hold your customer's card detail in your premises. If you do, you have to follow certain norms.
Surely.
It needs to be properly audited in a regular basis, right? So companies try to avoid it, right? So we use WPM, Civica. They are the system which are taking payment. Then we use another system called Adelante, which is an ATP. ATP means automated telephonic payment. You must have made payment via telephone at some point in your life, right? Especially council bills or your parking tickets, you can pay.
Oh, don't say that. I just paid one.
Yeah.
So those ATP system, so they are the one who can take payment and then send data to the middleware, and then from middleware it triggers an IDOC into SAP. And it's real time, right? Sends an IDOC, and that through that IDOC it creates an accounting document. It is like F-28, right? It creates a payment document. You have received the money from customer.
Yeah.
Right? So these are all the third-party system which are connected to middleware, and from middleware to SAP. Right? So this is real time. What is non-real time?
Sorry, so these are not. So they are not the middleware. These systems.
So they are not middleware.
They
They
are
are
third
independent
They are
systems.
independent systems, yeah.
They are third party.
Which like it comes to the see, we have
Payments and like.
we just got our new sports center, which is going to start, scheduled to start from 1st of December, but it might got delayed by 1 month, so hopefully from January. So that gym is a sports center, it's a kind of gym. So they are using another system, right? So that system should have an interface with SAP, because when it comes to revenue, anything to do with money, it has to end up in SAP, right? So for that we need to design an interface as well, how it will work, how it will end-to-end work. Okay? So process, once we understand the process, it's not difficult. Right? Accounting you can guess, right? If you go to Tesco, there will be a fundamental difference between if you have a loyalty card or if you don't have a loyalty card. Right? If you don't have a loyalty card, then it will be a straight. You all guys are yawning, I can see. Right? I have seen him, Vaibhav, and he also. Do you want to make yourself a cup of tea or coffee?
No, fine.
So,
Too much tea last night.
A bit later.
Practicing a lot.
I went for a movie, I came back 2 o'clock.
Which
Last-
one you went?
Ungli.
So, what I was saying? So, these systems are individual systems, and they are connected to middleware, and from middleware the data is flowing into SAP, right? And the other part, what I was trying to tell you,
Accounting.
yes, accounting, right? The Tesco example I was giving. So if you don't have a loyalty card,
That is the point that you said.
If we don't have the loyalty card, then it is just one straight of entry, revenue credit, bank debit,
One time
Right.
consumer.
because it's a one-time customer.
That's good.
Right.
Thanks of me.
One-time customer. Just imagine in the case of MNS,
Yeah.
right? But if they have loyalty card, they are customer. Right? In that case, there will be two double entries. One at the point of sales, right? Customer debit, sales credit, and when they make a payment, bank debit, customer credit. Right? And then in the background in SD module, they can write condition types. If the customer is spending this much of money within this period, they should get this much discount. Right? Then that SD people can configure on the system. So this is how it works. So we talked about real time. Now let's talk about non-real time. See, all the 70-80% of universities, they are using for student life cycle management. They are using a software called SITS 6.
Sam, so which one is the best middleware solution for a business? Sam?
It's a debatable. I mean, it depends upon business.
So BAP can do IDOC, and IDOC can do
Whatever
whatever
you find
BPI
cheap,
do.
you know.
So BAPI can do whatever IDOC does, and IDOC can do anything BAPI does. Do is it?
Well,
Can all
IDOC is both ways, right? But ideally, BAPI is being used to send data out from the
out?
system,
Okay, but it can also do
inbound as well.
inbound as well. And
See, BAPI, there are BAPI you can create from scratch, right?
okay,
IDOCs are predefined. For each and
Okay.
every area, there is an IDOC.
okay. So IDOC is the
BAPI,
template.
BAPI you can
So
create
that
from
IDOC
transaction
is-
code as well. You can create BAPI.
Okay. So IDOC is a template. That's
Yes.
okay.
So basically, FI and IDOCs are the methodologies we are using
Mhm.
to interface with SAP.
SAP and non-SAP system, and it's for the real time.
In SAP and middleware, isn't it?
Yeah.
And who is managing this one? Like any particular team? ABAPA?
ABAPer, with the help of ABAPer, and even ABAPer cannot do everything by his own. Because if it is going to middleware, there will be a middleware expert mode, and if it is a third party, if it is connected to website, then the web team will come into the picture. They will have a meeting and they will discuss. Okay. So first thing they want to, once they understand the process, they need to talk about data. What data we should be sending out and receiving in. Right? In which format you want that data to be. Right? And accordingly, they can design an interface. Right? So in this process, the functional consultant have to do two things: process mapping and field mapping. Right? So what is process mapping, field mapping? What is process mapping? How it end-to-end works.
Yeah, that is what we just discussed, isn't it? Like once customer is purchasing the product and making the payment at the point of sales, how it should be reflected in our final SAP system. That is called process mapping.
But in process, okay, let's talk about it. When you do a process mapping, you need to do a diagram. And diagram, to design a diagram, there are systems available in which you can design a diagram. One is Microsoft Visio. And another is IBM Blueworks. Microsoft Visio and IBM Blueworks.
What are these two?
These are the softwares through which you can create process diagram, like a flow chart. So the one which is very popular these days is swim lane diagrams. Are you guys understanding it or it's going above?
Here's another
Yeah.
method of another
No,
tool
no.
for
Overall, I'm
process
talking
mapping.
about.
Yeah.
A swimwear is another method of another tool for process mapping, isn't it?
No, no, it's not tool. I'm coming to that. Swim lane is what? Right? Who is going for swimming here? Who knows how to swim?
Little bit.
You know how to drown, yeah?
Not swim, but we can.
Okay.
How to
So swim lane diagram is,
You can go come back.
see, there are swim lanes. As you, if you must have
Yeah.
seen
Yeah.
Yeah.
the swimming pool, there are swim lanes. So what they do, they dedicate one swim lane for a particular system. Here I'll say this is web. Then I'll say this is middleware. Then I'll say here is an IDOC. Then I'll say this is SAP.
I think we have explained this.
Yeah, this is what I have explained. I do remember. So this is where the customer place an order. This is, when we design the whole process, customer place an order, the order goes to the middleware, and the middleware creates an IDOC, it goes into SAP, creates a sales order. This is called process map. Right?
Yep.
And then on top of that, now you understand the process. Now it comes to field. In website you call it customer name or something. In SAP it is different, right? In SAP you call it item number, right? And in your system it may be material number on the web system, right? Or maybe vice versa. In SAP you have got material number, but in your website the same field is called item number. So you are mapping those two fields, right? Which is called field mapping. Process mapping, field mapping. Okay. Now the next thing is non-real time. What is non-real time? I'll show you the idea of how it looks like in my real-time system. SITS and SAP. These are the two systems which we have. It is an example, right? If it is not an educational institute, then you won't heard SITS. Right? There might be some other system. So what is non-real time? I'll give you an example. In SITS, they have got a process called ATR, in which they do fees calculation. And then in SITS, they have written a program, a SQL code, which is a program which extract this fees calculation data. Who should pay what fees, right? How much we should charge for a different student who are doing different studies across the university. It will do that fees calculation. In 10 minutes, I'm taking a break, and you all must have tea or coffee, right? So fees calculation, and that fees calculation creates a file and store into a central location somewhere. It can be SharePoint or shared drive, right? Shared drive, I would say. Shared drive. It creates a file here. Fees calculation. And it does every night, 9 o'clock. From SITS, it creates a file and store it somewhere centrally. Right? In SAP, every morning, 9:30 a.m., there is a background job which is running, which will pick up this file and creates a sales order into the system, right? So this sits is creating, doing ATR process and extracting data as a file. The file can be an XML file. You must have heard XML, right?
Yeah.
At least you must have heard.
Yeah.
Or CSV file, right? XML or CSV file. And then it stores in the central location. When I say central location, what it means, that location is available to both the system. They both can invoke that location, right? And then SAP has got a background job which picks up that file and creates a sales order, right? So there are programs which are called BDC programs in SAP. Through which we can upload this file into our system, which can create sales order, which can do FB60, FB70, you name it. Right? There are programs. But this is non-real-time interface. There is a time gap. One system creates a file, stores it into a central location, and another system, even though if it is 10 minutes, it's not real time. Right now we have a time gap of about 12 hours. So this is non-real-time interface. One system puts the data, store it somewhere else. The other system picks up that data and creates something on SAP.
So that BTC program is accessing that file and creating a sales order in SAP. Yeah?
Yes.
This sales order is not something which needs to be authorized or checked. So why it has to be a non-real time? It can be a real time, isn't it? Or the fees calculation, if someone has paid the fees, sales order creation, whatever the background job needs to be done,
No,
it is happening
see,
in background only.
No.
The system can slow down, so they have to
See,
run.
the system which you are talking with, they should be compatible enough to use real-time interface. So SITS doesn't have that mechanism through which we can have a real-time interface.
The university can afford not to have. I mean, it is cheaper. Its money is not real time. It will be cheaper than real time, and it is not that core requirement to have this system on the real time basis. Probably.
See, fundamental question is, do we need this to be real-time or not? If it is payment, it has to be real-time. If your customer has paid, he will make sure the payment should show up in the system straight away. Right? Whereas something which you need to bill to your customer, you can think, okay, it's 6 hours, doesn't make any difference. Right? If you
So
bill
what
them
do you
late
call
for 6 hours,
this bank statements? If you use your debit credit card, it takes a couple of days for the entry to come in, but the balance, available balance, is reduced straight away. So
nowadays it's just within 1 day, isn't it?
That is the point I wanted to discuss. You know what happened when assume you are using your card in Tesco's for £500 laptop you bought.
cash withdrawal will come straight away.
Yeah. Cash withdrawal is a different transaction, but when you are using your card, let's say for example you bought one laptop from Currys for £500. Now using your card from HSBC has used Visa network. So Visa will authorize the payment. So using Visa's system, bank will debit your account. But what bank will do? Bank will keep that much money aside that this transaction has been performed. But bank will debit that amount and pay to Currys only when Currys will claim.
Yeah.
Now that is why there is a difference between available balance and the balance on the screen.
So it is something like end of the day when I used to work in the shop, when we do the till balance, we balance the card machine. So when you balancing the card machine, does it mean at that time you're making a claim? So if you're
No, it is a non-real time system, I suppose. At the end of the day, they are making claim to HSBC, But all this process comes through Visa or MasterCard, whoever is a service provider. Because Visa need to authorize all these transactions. And then once Visa authorizes transaction, it will hit the bank system.
No, but
And bank
if it's
will-
non-real time, how the Visa network will know that if the balance is there?
There are two systems parallel. When bank is authorizing the payment, Visa cannot authorize the payment because it is just a system that all the banks are using because they can't build up their own platform for the payment system. Whether they are using either Visa or MasterCard, but before making the payment, they need to make sure whether there is enough balance. So it will hit the bank account, and bank will confirm yes, Mr. Shah has got enough balance. So payment the transaction has been authorized. Now, so these are real-time system. Now, non-real-time system will come into the picture when curries need to claim money to HSBC.
You just need to correlate in terms of your business, whatever you are doing.
But my point was how
That's what I
why they
trying
are
to
not
do.
make this real time. Because if they will make it real time, then this problem won't occur. As you said, so sometimes you can see there is a balance in your account, but when we actually go to perform a transaction, you can't do
There are
it.
a lot of ifs and buts. If you have everything real time, system performance can get affected.
Slow
as well.
down, yeah.
There are a lot of ifs and buts. Right? Every now and then, if your server is loaded with so many requests, millions of requests from different locations,
You will get there.
it is better to run certain things during midnight when there is less traffic. There are a lot of things. This is just one example.
Yeah, like
There
this
can be other few things.
Black Friday, the
Maybe they
websites
take
were
backup
like
as well.
you are on a queue.
Yeah,
But
yeah, so many
You know,
websites.
you are on
are
backup
Yeah.
normally.
So there was a lot of traffic. That
In my store-
website is having.
Like normally when I do the cash ups, I know that okay, normally tills do the real time exercise. Whatever is money comes straight away when you go on system, and you can check okay that till performing that much money and they can take that much money at the moment. But still, when we store close, we know that till start reboot automatically. What they're doing on that time? Why they start rebooting and just confirming all the data throughout the day? We have a real time. One is a real time money is coming. Whatever is the money coming in, real time you can see in the system as well. But after store close, till again reboots everything, and they collect all the data. And next morning we have a complete picture. There is a few transaction whatever is the missing, or your layouts or other so many refunds and everything. Next morning you have complete picture. Though at the while you are dealing with this transaction, you can only know okay that much money we intake and that much product we sell. But
So
next day we have a complete picture of A to Z, what we sell, what we refund, how many items, specific item to be done well or whatever is the poor thing. So that's what is happening normally in our store.
It's good, and I'm sure they must have some reconciliation process as well. Because when you receive a money via card on a particular day, maybe 200 customers, right? The 200 customers, the bank will show up with one payment from
Yeah.
PDQ machines. Like we have today, you have received 150,000 pounds with maybe thousands of customers. So how do you reconcile that payment with each individual customer? Right? Because the money which you have received, which you think you have received, right? But it may decline on the next day for
Yeah,
various
that's what
other
is
reasons.
happening. Next day, so many fault cards and other transaction also shows that okay, that's a problem. This card is not valid.
I
Refund.
think MNS they are running on SAP.
Yeah, background. Yes, yeah.
Arijit told me they are using SAP. So
But we have couple of different as well. PeopleSoft as well on behind.
PeopleSoft for
Yeah,
I think HR.
for
maybe.
HR basis, all the HR transactions deal with like if I am going to check my data, for that I need to use PeopleSoft.
Tesco is using PeopleSoft.
Other. You sure?
Because otherwise
Asda
PeopleSoft.
is using SAP. Walmart.
And same as
No, Pets for Shop
nowadays.
is using SAP. Pets for Shop, they're using SAP because they're recruiting.
Pets control.
Pets for Shop,
Alright.
Pets for Home or something.
Pets
like
for home.
Pets for
Pets
Home.
for
Yeah.
The home base is using SAP.
Yeah. A search for job it can.
Magnet is using SAP.
There is one more example. I'm not sure this fix or not, but that what is happening nowadays is because I'm on Lewisham dealing with online order. I have a warehouse, separate warehouse, who is just dealing with online orders. So what happens that there is a different kind of orders comes every day. Some orders are straight away we have to deliver by 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, but there is some orders which you can deliver after 2 days or 3 days. It depends on how much money customer paid. If you are paying next day delivery, you have to pay little extra, and otherwise it's a normal delivery. So when I go on system and says, okay, how many orders I have to dispatch today? So for that 10 o'clock one straight away shows, and we have to deal straight away, and rest of them we keep that order and we do it. So it's not mean we are not getting the money. We're getting the money, but for some reason, we are not dealing with these orders real time because we know we have enough time to deal with. So next order, whatever is order for 2 days after or 3 days after, we'll keep it one side, separate of course in regard, and then we can deal that order later on. So I don't know. Hopefully, surely we will get that money straight away. But because of there is a difference transaction. You are buying same pair of shoes, but because that one you pay some extra £1 or £2, we have to deliver straight away. So that one comes for me more real time. Rest of them, if they pay less amount.
So this is not about real time, non-real time. This is about your delivery date.
Yeah. But system never shows that thing. That's the issue, is it? Otherwise, I can make it ready. I don't care. Just go after 2 days
So
or
it
3
won't
days
show
for
it
me.
as a pending, awaiting deliveries.
Yeah, it's like that. They
It's
just
a
say,
show,
yeah.
So it's not
Waiting.
instantaneous. Is that
No.
what you're saying?
Yeah.
Online and your system.
It says, it will be ready till to Monday or Tuesday, not now. So we are just leave it like that. We don't bother too much about it.
Yes, because it's need to process the order. So behind the scene, it's need to before sending the
That's all
product, it
online
need to
ordering.
collect the payment, and it's need to do a like if they buy £500, it's need to do a check if this is the right person, like address proof. So it's doing
Or
certain
do you
other
have
process.
that item in stock or not? That system can check.
Yeah, that one is straight away we check. That one.
No, system can check as well.
Yeah, system also check it.
See how much department, how many people, what the millions of
massive field.
expenses, but the source of income is just selling the product. So what is the margin they work on? 200%, 300%.
Sometimes, yeah, it's
Yeah,
more than
that's
that. To be very honest, at the moment, because I am dealing with all men's shoes. If you order anywhere in the UK, men's shoes or slippers or whatever, I am the person who dispatch in M&A. So I say check almost every box. None of them are from made in UK. None of them mostly are from India, Bangladesh. Some of them Pakistan, and that So of course they bought some very cheap things from there, and they sell it so expensive. So expensive.
Regarding this,
It's not only a third one. Very poor countries. Some of the African countries in USA, they are really poor countries. But yeah, all of the product Americans buy from these countries, and then they are selling here. So of course there is.
I mean, the main thing is how it works on SAP. Forget about they are making their own, right? They are not
I
doing
like
that.
it.
We don't have
I
share.
diverted the topic.
regarding this real time and non-real time, I want to know. There is a department in HSBC which is called GetC, Key Account Technical Solutions. Now, Tesco is one of their customers. Now, Tesco is doing their banking with HSBC, but as you discussed, every company has their own system. HSBC has its own payment system, and they have got their own payment system. What that team is doing, it is like a middleware, you can say. They are, I think, creating some batches or something. I don't know what is it called in technical terms. They are matching. They are once Tesco will start banking with HSBC, they will look into their payment systems, how they are doing, and how our system is different, and they'll match the two systems. So I think they're creating middleware, possibly.
Why they need to match two systems?
Because once any transaction is performed in Tesco, it has to be reflected in their bank bank account as well. But it won't reflect the state way because they are using
It's
their
a real
own
time.
methods.
It can be an IDOC through middleware. It is going straight into HSBC. So
They are keeping big servers. There are 4 or 5 servers, and nobody should touch that servers. There are only a couple of people. They are not technical guys.
I mean,
They are not IT.
banking. I do know a few people though. they have worked for banking. Banking sector is always pressure cooker when it comes to doing technical work. You cannot supposed to go wrong with anything.
I used to work in that team, so I know, but they are not technical guys, not from IT. They are completely from business. I mean, from banking background. Lots of knowledge about payments and etc. Mainly regarding payments. But now they are working on this kind of customers only, like key account, like big accounts, where the system is different than us, and like Superstore, they have their own payment system. How their transactions should be reflected in the banking?
How the transaction? I'm sure it must. Anything with payment, one word answer is real time. Has to be real time. Anything to do with payment has to be real time. Because we use 3 different systems which can take payment. And everything is real time.
No matter
I
it's check
had a
payment
question
or
of
whatever it
this.
is.
Check is different.
Check is
Right? Check is something different. It's, not for check you don't have to use any system, right? It goes to bank, and it is a different picture altogether.
Is
I'm
there
talking about
any-
online payment.
Sorry, is there any payment? I mean, is there any software which can link your bank payment to a real-time scenario? So, for example, I'm not a very big company. My company, when customer pays in bank, it's a bank transaction, purely bank transaction. For example, I'm passing you the money to my bank to your bank. It's a simple way. So that can never be a real time for me. So I have to every day I have to check what are the transactions I can see on my bank statement which customer might have paid, and then I link it to my system, and so it can never be real time. So is there any software or can SAP do that?
Okay, you mean to say the customer is paying directly into your bank
Into the
account
bank.
without your knowledge,
Yes.
and how do we identify? And that has to be real time. Well, I don't think it can be real time. What you can do at the end of the day, you will get a bank statement from bank, electronic one, which you can upload into your system, and you can do necessary reconciliation. You can do a posting, right? But in order to, because bank won't allow, it's not beneficial to them. Just imagine they have millions of customers and you are having like 100 transactions per day. And if everything is real time, every now and then, whenever any payment hits into your bank account, they need
Has to link
to link to your system, right? So, which is very complex, and I'm sure business won't be ready to pay that much of bank charges to have that kind of facilities. I'm sure I never come across this before, but I'm sure there must be something like that available in some countries or in some areas where you can have a direct link with your bank account through which your system is getting updated straight away.
You could do a background schedule. You could schedule a background job to check every 1 minute.
No, that will be what he said. The
Yes.
electronic bank statement will come and we upload it in SAP.
But
Subject to a customer who has paid, they put the right reference number, which
Yeah,
SAP
that
will
is very
recognize.
important. Yes.
I
that
think so.
is
It will
very
depend upon the
important.
company as well. Like
What we
the
can do is
arrangement with the
similar
company and the bank.
to mobile banking
How much are they ready to
application.
pay for the service?
Assume you are putting money, depositing money in your account, and if you're logged in into mobile banking application, you just refresh button, you will see.
That's what I was.
that's what I'm saying. Like
Same
every
way,
every
but
1
bank
minute
can
is
do it
refresh.
for its own
Background.
within its own things, on
You write a
own
program
system.
with the help of some programmers with online banking. If anything changes within 5 or 10 minutes,
Yes.
it will update into one file, and that file you can upload into your
Even within
system.
a fraction of a second, if there are 2 machines in the bank for paying in cash, as soon as you deposit the cash, if you go on the cash point, you can see the balance is available in your account.
Yeah, that's true.
But I think this is a real time, but it might be because they are sharing a common platform, it is very cheap. But when it comes to the vendors or the customers like corporates, it's very, very costly for the bank, as Sam said.
Okay, so this is real time, non-real time. We will take a quick break because I feel like having one. Speaking since long time. So after that, I'll show you how IDOC looks like,
IDOC.
and then we will do integration. Okay.